record? Okay. And we are live. So, hello, I am Katie Saalfeld, and I am here with Jamie Saalfeld with Morgan Stanley. She is the investment guru, and she has given us some of her time today just to kind of help us understand the current market trends, where we should invest or should we not, what should we do. And so we are honored to have her here. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Yes, well, we're excited to talk with you. So before we kind of get into all things investment related, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got into what you're doing and where you're at now.
Well, I actually started out as a teacher, so that's what I have my undergrad in.
Okay.
And I enjoyed teaching, but I guess I'm more competitive and I really enjoyed market and investments. And I was lucky that my dad had bought me stocks from a really young age. So I was aware of, owning investments and having a Roth IRA. And he's really the one that, drugged me kicking and screaming to, church meetings on how to invest and, smart money and Dave Ramsey and all that. So then there's several male advisors in my family. And one day I thought, I want to do what they're doing. How do I do that? So I ended up going back to school and got my MBA from Texas A&M. And then I started from the bottom and I worked as an assistant and just kind of worked my way up to being a broker. And I have my own team that I started. And we manage about 500 million in assets between the two of us.
Wow. Now that is amazing. Yeah. Now I saw recently that you were winning some big award. What was that about? Tell me what that was.
So it's basically you have to go through like a program to bring in so much a year. And it's like nationwide, under 40 typically. So it was just a broker recognition, top 40 under 40 advisors.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you have your whole own team. I didn't know that part. That's really cool. So from like an investment standpoint, what are you seeing right now kind of in the market? Like, I feel like I've heard like CDs are out, or I could be wrong. I don't know. So that's what I'm coming to you for. Like, what are you seeing right now is a good place to put money? How is it working? How are interest rates? Like, just kind of give me a broad overview as if you were teaching me at a young age, like just kind of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, since you brought up interest rates, I'll start with that. That's the big thing right now is, we've been in a zero interest rate environment for a long time, and now they're starting to raise interest rates, which is good because people who have money in savings can earn more. But when the interest rates start to go up, it affects the bond market, which is what a lot of retirees put money in. It affects CDs. It affects, investments. So right now we're in this process of kind of, the reopen trade is what a lot of people are calling it. So we're switching from what we've used before to what may be popular, vacations, things opening up again. And then the other piece that's happening is, if you look at the market the last year, there was growth stocks, technology, Facebook, Apple, those big technology stocks, which are considered growth stocks, were just, amazing. Some of the portfolios we run were up 100% last year. Well, now we're moving into a value, more value stocks, and value stocks are things that are cheap. I kind of, it's similar to what Warren Buffett would invest in. So companies that are undervalued, and companies that will perform no matter what. So think about utilities company, people always are going to turn the lights on. People are always going to buy toilet paper. People are always going to buy cigarettes and beer, diapers. So we're having this, there's a lot going on right now, and especially with the change in administration, that'll change the taxes, with a new direction as far as the Fed's concerned. So there's all these different things happening right now. And so that's why you'll see the market right now is up, down, up, down.
Yes.
And the other thing is people are home And the millennial generation is starting to invest. So they're on, Robinhood, they're on E-Trade, they're buying and selling. And, that's what we saw with the GameStop thing is, this young, unexperienced investor is getting in the market, which I think is great. And I hope more women would get into the market. And so that's really where my, I guess, passion is that I see so many women that don't know a stock from a bond, and they're just intimidated by it. So hopefully that answers it.
No, that's a good overview and kind of what I was looking for. And you're right. I think a lot of women, it can be scary, and then I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if there's a lot of women even in your profession, right? Like that do what you do. Yeah. So that would be, no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just doing the statistics. Yeah, there's not very many women that are advisors, that are brokers. There's a lot of people in finance, but that are actual portfolio managers. There's 2 women in my office. In the office before, I was the only one. And the interesting thing about that is that women actually control more money than men do globally. We live longer than men. We are the decision making when it comes to finances. We're the shoppers, we're the consumer, we're the ones buying food for our families and wanting a new minivan, and the combination of that, how much decision making we have, and then also the fact that we live longer, we potentially could inherit our parents, we could inherit our husband's money at some point. So there's just this big shift of women are having more and more money coming to them, and a lot of them don't know what to do with it, and it's, you see all these 55-year-old white males, and there's a lot of money out there, and it's different, it's very varied, and money's shifting. So
what would you give some advice to someone, like, let's say they're in their mid to late 30s and have a couple of kids, and they are they've got some money that they want to put somewhere? Would your advice to that age be different than maybe your advice to somebody in their mid 50s where their kids are pretty much grown? And so is there, like, what would be an overview of kind of like what somebody in their 30s with a couple of young children would need to look at, or how should they invest?
Yeah, absolutely. So we typically manage money according to when you need the money. Do you need the money for your child's college, or do you need it for a boat this summer? So we try and look at the time frame. But as far as, what can you do in your 30s or 40s, young family, or a custodial account for your child so that you can, put money away for their education. And, the 529 has some tax benefits. So does the UGMA account, or custodial account, which is where it's an account for your child, but and it's in their social, but you're the one that is managing it. So those are 2 things that I would absolutely suggest. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but if you can just put a little bit away, it'll just grow. And then the other thing is, if based on your income, if you're making under 100, and I think it's 15,000, the limits change every year, but if you're making under, in the low 100s and under, I would start a Roth IRA.
Okay.
And the reason for that is you get a tax credit back on your taxes, and when you take the money out, you're not, it's after tax. So that's the other thing is, it's there's some tax benefits to that. So 529 account and a Roth IRA, and then of course, just invest in. I always tell people, invest in things that you feel comfortable with. Target. Bed Bath & Beyond. One of the things I bought in March last year was Bed Bath & Beyond, because I thought, well, we're all going to be home, and what are we going to do? As a woman, I'm going to start, I need new pillows, I need new sheets, I want a blender, and I'm going to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. And so, and investing in things that the company, you use it is really neat. And the other thing is, simple ETFs, which is an exchange traded fund, and it's a basket of stocks. So it's several companies in one.
Okay.
And so I would recommend that because you can buy a little bit and add to it.
I love that. That's good. See, and then you feel better about buying from there because you invest in it. So then it's okay to go get your new Vitamix, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's awesome. So what about if I'm like in my 50s and 60s and, maybe I have a 401k from a job that I've had for like a really long time. Or, I've just saved up over the years. Like, what should I do or look for then?
Yeah. Well, I always, I think it's important to have some cash, but I also think that with inflation, which is at, right now inflation's going up, but it's typically around 4%. Your principal or the initial cash you have in the bank is going to be eroded away by inflation. So $5 today is going to be, you're not going to be able to buy as much 10 years from now with your $5. So that's where investing is important. And so when you get to that, 50, 60, then you're really in the retirement mindset. And so, once you turn 55, you can put more into your retirement accounts. Once you turn 72, I believe now, you can start to take it out. So that's when, I think a lot of women, it starts to click more for them of, hey, I need to consolidate all these jobs that I have and all these old 401ks into one account. So I work with a lot of people who will come to me with just a box full of papers and, they have all these accounts everywhere and they have this insurance policy from their ex-husband and they have this and they have that and they don't know what to do with it. And I help them kind of consolidate it all and organize it and make a plan to get them to where they want to be, whether it's, because as we age, we realize I can't work forever. This is exhausting. And so that's when, really being focused on retirement comes into play, and healthcare needs. That's a big thing, is taking care of our children, our adult children, our parents, us. There's a lot of moving pieces. So that's where it helps to have somebody to talk you through, whether it's an advisor, or a CPA, they can help, or someone like you, I'm sure.
I mean, I can insure your home and auto and your life and all of that, but it sounds like you do other types of insurance policies as well, right? Besides just investments, you also, what else is it that you offer?
I mean, we do long-term care. We do annuities, life insurance. It's not the focus. I don't. Advisors will focus on, let me sell you this. I work for New York Life. Let me sell you this policy. I don't. I want to buy something like that where when I'm 65, I can turn it on and have monthly stream of income. Then I might say, let's look at an annuity. But yeah, we do annuities, long-term care, which is pays for nursing home expenses. So that's something that I always tell women to get, because a lot of times we'll use our income or our savings to pay for our husband, because men don't take care of themselves quite as well as women do. And so you end up paying for your husband to be in a nursing home, and then when it's your turn 10 years later, you're out of money. So that's where having a long-term care policy, it pays for a good portion of that expense. And so I always tell, especially single women, I always, it's something to consider.
No, that's
and it acts as an investment too.
Yeah, that's very good advice, because like you said, that's something that even similar to I come across with life insurance. They're like, oh, I'm 60, 65, I'm about to retire. Now, I've always had life insurance through work, so now I need to get it now that I'm about to retire. So looking back, I think a lot of people are like, I wish I'd done all these things earlier. Like, I'm sure you probably hear a lot, right? You hear like, I wish I'd started investing earlier. Because correct me if I'm wrong, you kind of probably have some products for almost any budget, right? Like, even if it's like, I only have, $200 a month, or I have $20,000 a month, do you have kind of products for anybody across the board?
Yeah, great question. So my practice is mostly focused on like ultra high net worth clients, people that have about, a minimum of 250,000 to a minimum. That's kind of the starting point. But Morgan Stanley recently purchased E-Trade, so we have that available. And I always tell, all women friends, feel free to call me if you have a question about what I should do. I may not necessarily have something for you, but I can at least point you in the right direction to a place that you can, do some investing.
I think that's, like you said, the big fear is like, I don't feel like I have a lot, or maybe I have too much that I don't know what to do with. Just a lot of fear of the unknown. Investing can sound like big and scary, if you don't, never done it and you don't know. So having somebody like you that can kind of just point us in the right direction, and that's super helpful. So if somebody wanted to come, well, let me ask you this really quick. Is there something that, now that you've been in this, this field for a while, is there something that you wish you'd have known maybe like 8-10 years ago that you wish you'd have done then, instead of, now that you know what you know? Like, do you have anything you might would have done then, had this knowledge before?
Yeah, I wish, when I was teaching, I didn't immediately open a 401k. I don't know why, I just didn't. So I guess I wish I would have done that, put something away. And if you don't have a 401k, the Roth IRA or just a regular IRA is smart. Yeah, that's probably what I would, just saving more in general. It's easy to get caught up when you're young and shoes and all that fun stuff. So
right, shoes are an investment. Are you saying shoes are not an investment?
Well, I think they can be, depending on what you buy. But yeah, that'd probably be what I would do. But yeah, and anybody who's, I personally, may not be able to help you, but anyone who's watching this or listening or whatever, if they have any questions, like, I'm happy to answer them. I think the more women know, the more we can help our families, because, women really, when we're saving or we're buying stuff, it's for us, but it's more for our families because we're the caregivers. So if you ever have a question, or anyone does, just feel free to ping me. I'm happy to help if I can.
Well, I appreciate that. So the biggest takeaway from this would be to invest in something now, right? Like, we have a lot of options, and there is places for big budgets and small budgets. But one of the most important things that I would take away would be some sort of savings investment, like Roth IRA, 401k, like start investing something somewhere, right?
Yeah. And I would say, there's a lot of low cost options that are safe, and there's some that aren't. Like, I would not open a Robinhood account.
Gotcha.
I have a lot of friends who've opened them, and, I told them, don't do it. And now they're, Robinhood's getting sued. So I think looking at E-Trade or Schwab or, one of those is always a great, option to get low cost. But I think just buying, even if you just buy mutual funds or some ETFs, I think those are great entry points. And I'm happy to point, specific ones that are kind of broad and, not real off, because it's hard. There's so many things you can invest in. Sure. And, women are pretty risk adverse. Most of us are. So it's easier to just not try versus try something. So, but yeah, if you just, and there's so much research out there. You can just Google, safe stocks for 2021, and it'll have ideas. Okay, good. Well, I appreciate all of that information. And how would somebody get a hold of you if they did, have some questions, or they have some funds they want to invest, or just anything like that? How can they reach you, Jamie? Probably my phone is the best, or my email, which is, or Instagram or Facebook. I don't care, however they want to reach out to me. But yeah, if you Google me, you'll see my website that'll come up. But my email is jamie.saalfeld@morganstanley.com. So, but yeah, or if hopefully people, I don't know, however you want to get in hold of me, I'm good with. So, and it doesn't have to be super formal. I mean, I'm happy to just.
I don't even know how that just came on. Okay,
What?
awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today and all of your knowledge. And we just so appreciate just you sharing with us. And I think you are right. I think we as women need to kind of focus more on the long term instead of just taking care of everybody else right now. We need to take care of us and everybody else in the long term as well.
It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot. But I think this is very helpful. This has been very informative. And I just thank you so much, Jamie, for your time and coming on. And I'll include your email below in case anybody has some things they want to invest in, and you're the person that they'll come to. So just thank you again for your time. Do you have anything else that you'd want to close with, or just any other tidbits that that you feel like we need to know?
No, I mean, if I can be of help to anyone, let me know. Or if you have a friend or a mother, or, somebody who maybe recently lost their husband or is going through a divorce. I mean, those are all key moments in a person's life that, there's opportunity to invest and help. I really, at my heart, I want to help women, have more financial literacy and just not be afraid to do it. So
I think you're right. I think fear is probably the biggest thing. So Jamie removes all the fear. I'm already super
I don't know about that.
just giving her all of my information. I think she would be the right person for any of us. So I definitely think that you should reach out to Jamie with any questions or anything. And thank y'all so much for listening. And thank you, Jamie, for just sharing with us and just being so informative and helpful. So thank you so much, and y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you again, Jamie. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right.